Hello everyone, and thank you for joining our PointCentral Administration website series. First, we'll get started with our housekeeping and legal disclaimer. I'll leave this up for a minute and let you read through it. Next, if you have any questions related to this webinar, you can use the chat feature in the GoToWebinar, and one of the consultants we have on the call with us will answer you. Any other questions can be answered with our dedicated customer service at calixdcs@calixsoftware.com. I'll be your presenter today. My name is Derek Young. I'm a professional consultant and trainer at Calix. On today's agenda, we'll be covering creating and assigning access rights to template sets, creating and assigning access rights to the Cardex database, canceling reservations via the PointCentral admin website, checking the statuses via the PointCentral admin website, and looking at different reports in the PointCentral admin website. So let's go ahead and hop into our PointCentral admin website and take a look at the first item. All right, so now we're inside of the PointCentral admin website, and starting with our first item, which is creating and assigning access rights to template sets, we'll navigate over to our navigation panel and select the option for template sets, and then select the option for add template set. To create a new template set, first start by entering the name for your template set in the template set name field. If you would like, you can choose an existing template set to copy from. You have the option to create a blank template set or use the copy from feature to duplicate any or all template types from any existing set, including the origination template set or the Calix default template set. Once you've done that, click the Add Template Set button. Once the template set is established, you can also set additional features like access rights. But before we do that, for more information about the different template types, you can go to the Configurations option in the navigation panel, select the option for Template Set Maintenance, and select Template Types. On this screen, you will find a list of all of the supported template types. The file types listed within each template type subdirectory are the supported template file types used by Point. The subdirectory column is the subdirectory within the template set on the PointCentral server where the files related to the template type are located. The Point Screen Location column indicates at least one place in Point you can edit or use a template of that type. All right, so now we're going to go back over to our navigation panel and select the tab for template sets. And this time we'll select the option for List Template Sets. So this screen will sort your template sets by priority order. So if you have more than one template set, you are able to select the order in which you want those template sets to be listed here on the screen. You'll see that we do have a column for the priority order. So we'll show you the number or the priority in which this template set is set for. And then we have the edit option, which allows you to edit the information in your template set. So I'm going to go ahead and click Edit. To change the template set information, you're going to modify the necessary details. The fields that must be filled out are highlighted in bold. That would consist of the template set name and priority number. Below that, you have the notes section. This section will just be for internal notes that only the admin can see, where you can put some more details in regards to what this template set is for or what it might have in it. Once you've made all the changes to this section, you'll click Update to make sure that those changes do stick and apply. All right, so next, scrolling down to the middle of the screen in this section, the next thing that you'll want to do is to grant the access rights that you want your users to have to this template set. Prior to granting a user access to the templates within a template set, it is necessary to assign the appropriate access rights to either the individual user or the user group associated with that template set. A user can receive access rights to a template set either through group permissions or individual permissions. If a user is not included in a template set stored on the server, they will automatically use the template set located on their local C drive, which only they can see and have access to. Now let's say, for example, that I wanted to grant access to my admin user group to this template set. What I would do is click the Edit option next to my admin user group, and that will bring us to our Edit User Group Access Rights screen. This page allows you to change the access rights for the selected user group on the organizational template set. So as you can see, as an admin, I have all of my boxes checked, These are all of the items that are encompassed inside of a template set. So you'll see things such as your loan programs, your closing cost scenarios, things such as your CARDEX categories, your auto min generation, escrow accounts, and title tables, reports. The list goes on. So your template sets hold a lot of data. Okay. As you can see down here at the bottom of this chart, there is a select all or an unselect all. If I were to unselect all, that will deselect these options, meaning if I granted a user access to this template set with none of these boxes checked, they would not be able to modify or create any of these templates within the template set. By selecting all, that grants me access to all of these items inside of the template set. So you do have the ability to choose the items that you do or do not want your users to have access to inside of your template set. Once you've made the access rights selections that you want this user to have, you'll click on Upgrade Access Rights. Once you click on Upgrade Access Rights, this screen will appear letting you know that the user group access rights have been updated. All right, now moving down towards the bottom of the Edit Template Set page, you can see a list of template files that are a part of the chosen template set. You'll see that we have 4 columns down in this section. The first column is for the file name. This will let you know what item in this template set was edited or added. Next to that, you'll see a column for size. It will let you know how large this item is. The third column will let you know the last date that this item was updated or edited. And then the last column will let you know what template type or what type of template it is, whether that be a report template, a custom form template, a loan program template, escrow or title table, so forth and so on. Now, if you've made new templates or you've made changes to existing template items, those items will not appear until you rebuild your template set list. So down at the very bottom of this screen, you'll see that we have a rebuild template list. So clicking on the rebuild template set button, this will refresh and or rebuild your template set so that new template creations or changes to any existing templates inside of your template set will be displayable and usable inside of the Point software. Once you click the rebuild template set button, you'll be prompted with this dialog box here at the top, making sure that you do wish to rebuild this template set, and also letting you know that there is a way for template sets to be automatically rebuilt every night, which I'll be showing you that here shortly. Once you hit OK, you can start using the new templates once the status screen shows that the rebuild is finished. If you are moving from standalone Point to PointCentral, you'll need to manually rebuild the organizational template set to access the new template data. The new templates will not be accessible until the template is rebuilt. Now, you also have the ability to copy your template sets as well. This process allows you to duplicate files from a current template set. So the first thing that we'll do is go to our configuration option in our navigation panel, select the option for template set maintenance, and then select the option for copy template set. From the copy from drop-down list, pick the template set you want to copy from. After that, choose the template files you wish to duplicate. If you want to clear out any existing files in the destination template set, select the option to delete destination template files before copying. This step ensures that both template sets are in sync. Once the files are copied, you can opt to rebuild template sets to refresh the destination set, then select one or more destination template sets where you want to copy the files. Finally, click on Copy and to select it and check the status link to monitor the progress of the copying process. Now, the last thing that I want to show you about the template set is that you do have a way to switch your template set to conventional. In other words, make the template set not visible on your list. To do that, we'll go back to the navigation panel and select the option for configurations. Then we'll select the option for template set maintenance. And this time we'll select the option for switch to conventional. This screen will show you all of your current template sets. You're able to organize your template sets by clicking the title of the column, and it will reorganize. As you can see, my number 1 switched to 2 and vice versa. If you want to delete a template set from PointCentral, change it to a conventional template set. You can do that by clicking on the switch to conventional links at the very end of the template set to the far right. Once you click on the switch to conventional, you'll get this pop-up asking and confirming, are you sure that you want to switch this template set to conventional? And also informing you that all access rights to this template set will be removed. So changing a template set to conventional will remove the access rights set in PointCentral for that template set, as conventional template sets do not allow PointCentral users, user groups, or other PointCentral features. So let's say that you didn't want to log into your PointCentral admin website every day to rebuild your template set. There is a way to turn on automatic rebuilding of your template set. So to find that, we're going to go back to our navigation panel and select the option for configuration, and then select the option for parameters. On the parameter screen, we'll scroll down just a little bit towards the bottom. In here, you'll see a section for daily rebuild of template set archives. To enable the automatic rebuild, you'll click the checkbox here for automatically rebuilding all template set archives once a day. And then right below that, you're able to put in the time that you want your template set to be rebuilt. The rebuilding of a template set should be done when all users are out of Point. So generally, you want to set this time for a time when you know that your users will not be using the software. As you can see here, I have mine set for 2 a.m. Below that, the next section for template set performance options. If this checkbox is checked, this will force Point to download the entire template set archive when more than 50 template files change, instead of just downloading the individual files themselves. The 50 is what I defaulted here. You're able to change this amount to what you would like. But what this is indicating to the system is if more than 50 changes are made in one template set in a day, then it's going to go ahead and do a rebuild of that template set to be sure that all of that data is visible and displayable for your users. You also want to be sure that you hit the save button to the very far right of each of these options. So up next, we'll go over creating and assigning access rights to the Cardex database. You'll notice that there are a lot of similarities in assigning access rights to the Cardex database as we did the template sets. So first thing we'll do is navigate to our navigation panel and select the tab for Cardex database, and we'll select the option for add Cardex database. The Cardex database for Point is a digital resource that holds details about the companies users deal with while handling loan files. You can use these entries in Cardex to fill in company name and address sections in Point. You can either build the Cardex database using the information that's already in the Point fields, or by entering the details manually inside of the Point software. So on this screen, once again, you'll name your Cardex database. And right below that, you have the same copy from options as you did with the template sets. So you're able to copy context from an existing Cardex database. Once you've created your Cardex database, you would then click Add Cardex Database down here below. Once you click the Add Cardex Database, at the very top of the screen, PointCentral will let you know that the new Cardex database has been created. You may add access rights to the Cardex database below. So below, this should look familiar. We're presented with the Edit Cardex Database. Again, this allows you to edit the Cardex database name, or change the order in which the Cardex database is listed in your PointCentral admin website. And again, for the notes section, these notes are for internal purposes only, so only the admin will see this. And again, you could put notes in here that let you know what type of information that this Cardex database contains. Any changes made to this section, you do want to be sure that you click the update button below to make sure that those changes do stick. And below that, this is where we would grant the access rights to the Cardex database. Again, we can grant individual user access or group access rights. So to grant the group access rights, underneath the group access rights section, we'll click on the Add Group Access Rights button. At the very top of the screen, you'll see a list of all of the user groups that you've created. You'll select the checkbox on the user group that you want to grant access to this Cardex database. And the access rights that you have are at the bottom here. You can grant edit access rights or read-only access rights. If you do not want any of your users adding to your Cardex database or being able to delete entries from your Cardex database, then you will want to give them read-only access. And of course, if you want your users to be able to add their own contacts to the main Cardex database, then you would grant them edit access rights. Note, you're only able to select one user group at a time to grant the access rights. So if I wanted to grant this access right to my admin user group, I would then come down and click on Add Group Access Rights. And once I do that, PointCentral will let me know at the top with this message, the access rights have been added for this user group. And one last thing to note on the Cardex database, if you do not give access to a user to your Cardex database on the server, by default, they will be using the Cardex database on their local C drive. So that means that you will not be able to see any of the contacts that they add to their Cardex and vice versa. They won't be able to see the contacts that are on the Cardex on your server. So moving on to our next item, which is the reservations. So over in our navigation panel, I'm going to select the tab for reservations. Reservations begin when a user opens a loan, ensuring that other Point users cannot modify the loan until the current user has completed their edits and closed the file. A loan package consists of the prospect or borrower files along with the related documents tied to the loan. When a user accesses a prospect or borrower loan, the loan packages are downloaded from the PointCentral to the local machine of that Point user, making it to where no other users can access that loan file unless they're in read only. So there are two types of reservations. At the very top, you'll see an active reservation. This is the list of active reservations refreshed by the user within the 30-minute timeout interval. It may be necessary to manually delete reservations. For instance, if a loan is left open on an isolated computer, delete one or more loan reservations by checking the box to select them and then click the delete button. So as you can see, I currently have a reserved loan file. It says that I'm in it. If I were to come over and select the checkbox to the very far right and delete this reservation, this will allow me to have edit access to that loan file and be able to open that loan file in my Point software again. We also have inactive reservations. This list includes reservations that have not been refreshed within the 30-minute timeout interval and can be edited by any user. Reservations inactive for 14 days can be manually deleted here by the admin. Now, you do have the ability to change your reservation timeout period, and we can do that by going to our navigation panel and selecting the option for configurations, and then selecting the option for parameters. On the screen, if we scroll down, there is a section for reservations, and as you can see, the default is 30 minutes entered in the field. If you wanted to decrease or increase that reservation time period, this is where you would do so inside of the PointCentral admin website. If you do make a change to the number of minutes that your reservation is, you do want to be sure that you do hit the save button to the far right of that item. All right, so up next, we'll talk about status. So over in our navigation panel, I'm going to select the tab for status. The status screen shows the current state of operations that have been requested. PointCentral does not handle requests in the order they are received. Instead, the administration site organizes them into a queue for file sync to process. When an administrator submits a request, actions are generated. You can check the status of the screen for updates on these actions. The process of handling a request involves several steps. First, the administrator makes a request. Next, the action is queued with a pending status. Then, the file sync starts the action and changes the status to progress. Finally, when the action is finished, the status changes to done. PointCentral was designed to be more scalable and stable, as it can manage requests in a queue and process them at one time using this method. Below, you'll find a list of requested actions that have been completed in my PointCentral admin website. These actions are my pending actions or in progress actions. If I have multiple pages, you'll see those page numbers listed above here, and you'll click on the page number to find the appropriate page with the appropriate actions. And moving over to our last item, which is going to be reports. So back over in our navigation panel, I'm going to click on the reports tab. And as you can see, there's several sub-tabs underneath our reports tab. There are reports that show you how users and user groups are connected and what access rights they have to various items. These items include data folders, template sets, rules, and Cardex databases. The available reports include information on rule access rights, user access rights, user group memberships, group user memberships, data folder access rights, template set access rights, Cardex database access rights, and rules and access rights. So if I were to click on either one of these screens, For instance, data folders, groups, and users with access rights. This will give me a list of all of the data folders that I have within the system, and it will show me what groups or individual users have access to these data folders. And to the very far right, we have an access right column, and you'll see that we have the option to view in each data folder. If I click view, this takes me to the screen where I'm able to change or edit the access rights that this user group has to this data folder. So this is another way to get to the access rights screen for your data folders. That would be the same thing for any of these screens that I go to. So if I went back and selected template sets, groups, and users with access rights, this will show me all of my template sets and what user groups or individual users have access. And if I wanted to view the access that they have to the templates and or change those access rights, I could view them from the screen and make those edits. The last thing that was in this section under reports was delete file history. So this report shows information on deleted loan and template files. Columns will only populate data if matching items pertaining to the search criteria are found. This information will only display when the track deleted file function is enabled and a data retention period has been entered. For that data retention period, that is going to be entered under the configuration section and the parameters tab. And if we scroll down, you'll find the data retention period. So here you're able to type in the number of years and months that you want PointCentral to hold on to that data. And of course, after you make any additions or changes to this section, you want to be sure that you hit save on the very far right hand side of that option. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact our dedicated customer service at calyxdcs@calyxsoftware.com.